AEW gets ready to get in the mood. They will be here in Austin next Wednesday, May 17th at the Moody Center, the home of the University of Texas. Tickets on sale, AEWTIX.com, and stay tuned. I'll tell you how you can win a pair of tickets from us here at the Horn. One of the men that will figure prominently in that event joins me now on the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. Not only is he only the second person to ever be an NXT Triple Crown / Grand Slam winner, he is also the only man to have held the prestigious Ring of Honor World Championship 3 times, and one of the best guys out there. It is Adam Cole. Follow him on Twitter at Adam Cole Pro and Instagram. Adam, it's great to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Thank you very much for that very nice intro. I appreciate that.
I try.
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Thank you.
It's good to see you. Let's go back to when you got injured with the concussions. You've been back for a little bit now, but let's go back last year. 2022 was not a good year for you, honestly. You suffered back-to-back concussions. The first one at Double or Nothing last year, and then a month later at Forbidden Door. What can you recall from that whole time frame?
Yeah, so this is an interesting point too that I just thought of that I haven't really touched on yet. But when you had mentioned 2022 being a bad year, I just automatically started reflecting. And another reason, aside from the fact that the injuries were so bad, in my entire 15-year career, I had never missed more than 1 month of time away from the ring and traveling. Like I really enjoy being someone that everyone can count on. So that was another thing that was really hard for me to swallow. I know this was a very serious injury, and of course, time away was necessary, but that was tough to be away from the ring for so long. But aside from that, again, getting 2 back-to-back head injuries was scary, not only because anytime you mess with anything head-related, it's incredibly scary. Based on, a shoulder can heal, a knee can heal, but you only have one brain. So that's so important to make sure it's protected and taken care of. But on top of that, the idea at 33 years old for, legitimately questioning whether or not I was going to be able to get back into the ring after seeing doctors 3-4 times a week for months at a time was mentally and physically incredibly draining. Again, aside from the side effects that I had with my sleep being terrible and feeling nauseous and dizzy, and my emotions were all over the place. It was such a bizarre experience. On top of dealing with all of that, but then also having to try to mentally prepare for the possibility of not being able to wrestle again. It was the most challenging few months of my entire life, for sure.
Well, and that is something you mentioned. You're 33 years old, and I've talked to so many NFL legends, and several of them good friends, and it's a sad as it is. It's sad as it is. It's kind of commonplace there in pro football, and I have friends that they battled on the gridiron, and now they're seeing the results of all that wear and tear. And you mentioned it, you only have one brain.
Yeah.
So you had the second concussion at Forbidden Door in June. 2 months go by, you're seeing doctors, and it was 2 months later you took a cognitive test, and you scored so low it forget trying to get back in the ring. Yeah. There was the danger you weren't even going to be allowed to drive.
Right.
During those 2 months, did you have any inkling or any indication that it was as serious as it was?
Yeah, I think in my mind, I took it incredibly serious, but I didn't realize that potentially my life could be affected going forward. I think in my mind up to that point, I thought, okay, I had 2 back-to-back ones. I'm getting a little bit older. This is just one of those things. I've been going hard for 15 years. My body's just needs a little bit of time to recoup and recover and things like that. I thought, I'm going to bounce back, be right back to normal in no time. Give me a month or 2. I'll be good to go. And then 2 months after not being able to do anything but go for walks and scoring so poorly on this test, and then having the doctor look at me with sadness in her eyes and say, I mean, you were so close to not even being able to drive out of here to go home. That was like such a giant wake up call where you at that point you realize how serious this really is. I knew I had a lot of hard work ahead of me, that's for sure. And even still, as discouraging as getting that result was, I honest to God though, I never truly accepted the idea of stepping away from the ring. Like I was so focused and so determined that I am going to be at rehab every single day that I can go. I'm going to do everything necessary to make sure that I'm able to get back into the ring. Of course, if doctors tell me, hey, this isn't a good idea, no, you're not cleared, then that's a hill that I have to cross when I get there. But I was so focused and determined to do whatever I had to do as long as it took to be able to get back into the ring. So that doesn't change, again, how discouraging it was, especially to get that score on that test. But I still had the optimism and the focus going forward.
Absolutely. And we have seen your recovery being chronicled on AEW All Access Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on TBS. What was that like? Because this is something, for all intents and purposes, very, very personal. In fact, your girlfriend, Dr. Britt Baker, she repeatedly calls you by your real name, Austin, which, hey, I'm in Austin, so I love it.
Nice.
But it's you're letting cameras in on something that not only is very personal and again dealing with your well-being as a person, not just being a wrestler, but having that recovery chronicled. I gotta imagine that was, at least at first, a little weird.
Oh my God, yeah. Especially considering the fact that I wasn't even sure before I got hurt if I wanted to do it or not. I'm generally pretty private when it comes to my real life. So the idea of having cameras follow you around in all these points that are normally very private for you was a little bit scary for me at first. On top of that, knowing as this filming is going on that I may not be able to return to the ring anymore. It's kind of crazy. I kept going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to do it. And I'm so glad that I did. I know I've mentioned this before, but again, so many fans had no idea what was going on with me. They just thought that they knew something was wrong, but they didn't know what was wrong. And there were a lot of rumblings of what was going on with Adam Cole at that point in time. And the fact that so many fans were so supportive and would send messages every single day, even if I didn't reply to them all. Sometimes when I was having my worst days, I would go online or I would check and look at these messages about people saying that they hope I'm doing okay. And again, I brought this up before in LA, but so many people saying, I don't care if he never wrestles again. I just want him to be okay. That meant so much to me at that point in time. So much. So I thought, you know what, the least that I could do is kind of chronicle this journey, chronicle this story, so the fans could really understand and kind of see the process of what I had gone through to attempt to come back to the ring. So again, it was scary at first, but I'm so glad that I did it.
Well, and doing some research, and I read a great article. Our good friend Justin Barrasso from Sports Illustrated, you and he talked, and this a couple weeks ago, and check it out on SI.com. And he did such a fantastic job. And one of the things that he pointed out, and you kind of led into that with the messages from the fans, messages from wrestlers. In this, I mean, it crosses, brand lines. WWE, AEW, Impact. Everybody came around, and it's one of those things. And I'm not going to try to embarrass you, but I can tell you from being in wrestling media and talking to other reporters, it is, I would say, just about a universal truth that you are considered one of the top just good people in you and we've had interactions backstage and such. And I will tell you, and I can tell you from personal experience, you've always been, very kind, and you will talk and will laugh. And so I got to imagine that support really meant a lot too. You're hearing from, not only your fellow AEW stars, but like Xavier Woods from WWE and such. Talk about that support from within the wrestling community.
Yeah, again, I felt so fortunate and so thankful to have so many people have my back in a situation like this. Again, for so many of us, pro wrestling was our first love, and something that we love almost more than anything in the entire world. I mean, so them knowing that this was not only taken away from me for a short period of time, but again, that question of, how is his quality of life going to be? They knew the struggles that I was going through, and to have so many people reach out and show their support meant everything to me. Again, similar to how the fans were being so supportive, having so many of the wrestlers be so supportive. What I would say, thank you, you made my day. And I said this to so many of them. It really, really did. Because I didn't have much going on at that point. It would be, wake up and go to therapy and hope for the best and hope my symptoms weren't too bad. So to have it, so many of these guys, like you said, not just in AEW, but WWE and Impact and the independents and just people from all over the world. Some people I hadn't talked to for a really long time. Some people I talk to every single day. They just work for a different company. So I think support at a time when you're down and out means the most. And to have so many different people reach out, it got me through it. It really, really did.
Yeah. And then on top of everything, your girlfriend, Dr. Britt Baker.
Oh my God.
Who,
Yeah.
And it's so funny. It's, she's been, she'd been a heel for a long time, but I think it feels like this experience kind of changed to where and the fans were cheering her anyway, but man, this put another level on it to where, she is now a even bigger fan favorite. Just talk for a second about, what she has meant to you, not only, personally, just as your significant other, but, especially, supporting you in this journey to get back to the ring.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, me and Britt have been together for, a little over 6 years at this point. And I know I've said this before, and I will say it until I'm blue in the face because it's so true. But I promise you, I don't think I could have gotten through this without her by my side. The amount of support that she showed while she's still so busy. She's practicing dentist. She's traveling on the road and wrestling for AEW. She's doing conventions on the weekends, but she is constantly there for me. I can't tell you how many times I would call her in the middle of the night if she wasn't there, or if she is there. Lots of times I would wake up and not want to wake her up if something was going on, but it was like she knew something was wrong, and she would wake up. And there was a time where I wasn't doing so good. I don't think I've told this story before. Maybe I briefly touched on it, but I wasn't doing so hot. And I was up and I was pacing back and forth. It was like 3, 4 in the morning, and I didn't want to wake her up, but she woke up, and she was there for me and consoled me for over an hour. And she had to be up at 6 a.m. And it was like no issue to her whatsoever. It was like she just wanted to do everything she could to be a support system for me at that time. Britt was vital to me mentally getting through this entire process. And again, I couldn't ask for a better partner as far as what I went through and having her there for me. So she is absolutely wonderful. And I'm glad so much of the world is able to see that side of her now.
Absolutely. I mean, it's heartwarming to see it on All Access, the interaction with you and Britt in this journey, the recovery and everything. Let's get into some of the fun wrestling stuff. Before we get to coming to Austin, AEW All In tickets went on sale this last week. As of now, over 60,000 tickets for Wembley Stadium in London. First time they've been, first time a wrestling event has been in, of that side, been in Wembley Stadium since SummerSlam in '92. I mean, I gotta imagine the chests are puffed out so big around AEW for the notion we are 3 months away from this event. We have no clue what the card's going to look like, and there are over 60,000 people already. I mean, that's got to be a huge source of pride.
Yeah, excitement and pride doesn't even begin to cover it. The fact that, again, it's AEW's first show in Europe, and the fact that we're running a venue as famous and important as Wembley Stadium, and like you said, not a single match has been announced yet. 60,000 people have no idea who's going to be on that show, but because they know it's AEW, they know it's going to be a special night. I think All In is an incredibly appropriate name for this event. I can't think in recent memory a show or an event I have been more excited to be a part of and to see. This event is going to be absolutely unbelievable. I recently, just a couple of weekends ago, was over in Manchester to do a convention called For the Love of Wrestling, and getting to meet all these different fans. Every single person, the first question or the first thing they said was, "I can't wait for Wembley." And I told every single person I spoke to, neither can we. I mean, the AEW roster is so excited. This is a historic, incredibly historic event that I think is going to be remembered for years and years and years to come. So I am super excited. I'm super proud. And I know that AEW is going to knock it out of the park.
Yeah, I think we all are. Real quick, as we mentioned, AEW coming to Austin, coming to the Moody Center. They're going to be in the mood. It's the build up to Double or Nothing that's ramping up. You've got this rivalry with Chris Jericho. He facilitated the Outcasts beating down Britt Baker. How ready are you to get your hands on Chris Jericho, which could possibly happen in Las Vegas?
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you now, every single week that I see Chris Jericho, I'll do everything in my power to make sure I get my hands on him. For anyone who checked out Dynamite the week before, I was in a 8-man tag team match, and the second the match was over, I made my desires known at that point in time. So Jericho better be ready, because I don't even know if we'll make it to Double or Nothing. If it happens at Double or Nothing, great. If it happens in Austin, great. If it happens in a couple of days here in Detroit for AEW Dynamite, great. But nonetheless, Jericho dug his own grave, and he's going to pay for it.
Absolutely. AEW Dynamite Rampage getting in the mood. They will be here next Wednesday, May 17th at the Moody Center in Austin. Tickets available, AEWTIX.com, or if you want to go to hornfm.com, click on the contest page, and you can find a way to win a pair of tickets to see AEW here in Austin. He is one of the greatest and one of the best. Adam Cole, follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Adam Cole Pro. Adam, as I said, man, every interaction I have with you is such a wonderful thing. It's so great to see you back in the ring. I know you love having Roderick Strong with you as well.
Oh my God, I couldn't be more excited. He's one of my best friends in the entire world. He's one of the best pound for pound in-ring pro wrestlers on the planet. To have Roddy Strong with us in AEW is not only a win for me, but it's a win for AEW.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to all that. But man, Adam, I appreciate the time, man. Again, all the best to you. All the best to everybody at AEW. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week here in the ATX.
Thank you, my friend. We can't wait to be there.